Okay, so part two, I explained earlier how to make your list of everything that needs to be done in your home and what to buy to set your card box up. So now this is what we're going to do. We're going to assign out the colors of your cards for all of the tasks that you need to do. And I know the she card people have a specific kind of color palette and way that they set theirs up. I don't know that you necessarily have to do theirs, but you do need to be consistent. Now for me, my daily cards and my every other day cards are set up on yellow. My monthlies are set up on a blue. My weeklies are set up on the white cards. And then I have pink cards also for personal things. So you just start hitting through your list and put everything on the card that it needs to be on. Daily or every other day, you know, you've got stuff in here, wiping down the kitchen counter, taking my meds, emptying the dishwasher, feeding the cats, yeah, because they get mad if you don't do that. Weekly, here today, there's a 10-minute tidy in the bathrooms. And weekly, this was a personal challenge for me to grab 3 things from the house that I could donate. This is my grocery shopping day. And then monthly, I split these up. Tidy one kitchen cabinet. Not tidy the entire kitchen, but just one cabinet. That seems manageable. And in my kitchen, what that means is that, I have maybe a dozen cabinets in the entire kitchen. So at some point over the course of a year, every one of those sort of rotating will get tidied up. So that's manageable, though. It's not overwhelming. It's not a card that says today you will tidy up every single cabinet in your kitchen. It's just one. It makes it a little less intimidating and something that you can manage better. You go through your whole list, make all of these cards that are all these different colors, so that you have the ability, here, let me find you a pink one. Here's a pink one that will be for next week. Haircuts. Hey, sometimes you need a reminder. Now, they suggest, and I think that this is true, that you don't need to have a card for stuff that you will automatically do. I don't have a card for brushing my teeth or taking a shower. These are things that I can do without a card reminding me. The cards are here for things that you forget, or things that, to keep organized in terms of what gets done on each day. So for some reason, I kept, forgetting to take my meds at night or my meds in the morning. So I have a card for that. I don't have a card for brushing my teeth because I didn't have a problem remembering to do that. So you don't have to have a card for everything. That's sort of up to you to figure out what to do. So we have these cards, and then you go through, you load up your box, so that first of all, you always file to the front. If you've worked in an office, this is not a weird thing. Everything gets filed to the front. You load it up so that the current day is the first one and it rotates through, and then your months are behind that, and you stick all of your tabbies in here. And then you go through and start allocating these cards out. Okay, so the daily ones, obviously we're going to put those, because today is the 28th, and so we're going to load these in front because those are things that happen every day. I think there's an every other day in there too. It's okay. The ones that are going into weekly, you need to go ahead and disperse out evenly over the next 7 days. So the next 7 cards, this is your 1 week worth of cards here. So all of those weekly cards need to be distributed through that 7 days. Sometimes it makes a difference. My grocery shopping is always done on the same day. So I would go ahead and make sure that it's loaded up on the next day that I would be going grocery shopping anyway. Some days it doesn't matter. So you want to load your weekly ones and your every other week ones. Same idea. We can go 14 days, right? Because that's every other week. Kind of evenly distribute them through the next 14 days. You go to the monthly ones. And those monthly ones, because you're going to have a pretty good pile of them, but you distribute them evenly through all of your dates. It may be 1 or 2 per day. Just spread them out. sometimes you're going to know, like you'll pick up a card that says, check my, pay my car payment, for example. And okay, I always do that on the 30th. Go ahead and put it in here on the 30th. Some things it won't matter, and you just distribute them evenly. Take each card and kind of figure it out as it goes. Which one you're going to want to do. Like even the haircuts card for me, I know that I would only be doing that on a weekend. So I might as well, if I'm going to load it in, put it on a card that is going to work out right. So you take all of those cards and you distribute them through all of this, and you will have all of them figured out. Anything that is in every other month, every 3 months, once a year, things that are more than a month, go back into these monthly cards. So these ones that are all the way in back. So if I look in here, see, I have a 2 times a year. For my closet, I have that in May. So when May 1st rolls around, when I get to May 1st here, I'm going to check my May and see that I have this card in for May. And I will move it up and put it in with the rest of the cards. After I do it, since it says 2 times a year, I will count it out, and it'll end up in November, and I'll move it and stick it back here in November. And that is how it'll get moved through. These cards, as you do them, you move them to the next spot. So these cards, as I do them, I've taken my morning meds. Okay, I can go ahead and move that straight off to the next one. Oh yeah, I did the cat litter every other day. So since it's every other day, I can load it 2 days out. And I do that with everything. Okay, don't move it until you've done that. Don't do it until, move it until you've done it. My weekly, yeah, actually I did do the bathrooms earlier today. So I can count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 30 and 31 together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So everything's getting loaded on the 3rd. So I'm going to go ahead and move this to the 3rd. It automatically reloads itself. As you get done, and then hopefully by the end of the day, you will have emptied this out. When that happens, you take this 28, we're going to move it back here behind the 27. If you have a monthly, and this is sort of an odd thing about this system, but it doesn't matter too much. This monthly that I'm going to pull out, that's the kitchen cabinet one. When I get done with it, it's the 28th, and the idea would be, well, if it's once a month, then you would do it next month on the 28th. You don't really do it that way. When you move it, you go ahead and move it back, and it's going to get moved to the 27th. So you kind of get one less than a day. That's okay. I mean, it's not going to do anything too awful if you do it one day short of a month. If it makes a difference what day it is, sometimes you have to adjust anyway. If I have a card that pops up like this one, I know that I would only do this on a weekend. And so if it just happens to show up here and I'm like, well, it's not going to happen today, I will go ahead and move it myself to the date that is the next weekend so that I can remember. But sometimes, I'm just mathing. I'm just adding 14 or adding the next month, and I'm not looking at what day of the week it is because the system isn't set up to really care what day of the week it is. So you can just do it like that, and you just keep rotating. You refill, into the next time that it's done. So it automatically reloads itself for the next day. It's also real easy. If you're working on something and you realize you forgot to add something, I keep all my extras back here. I'll make a new card. You can add something in here that's a one-time event, and just stick a card for a one-time event in there and know that you can keep it like that. There's all kinds of ways that you can do this so that you can kind of adapt it to whatever your particular situation is. You can have cards assigned to specific people. You can have cards that, I think one of the ways that they had set it up was it said, it would have a time estimate, like daily feed cats. Okay, so that's like less than 5 minutes. And so I might write that up here, 5 minutes. so that you can look at it and know how much time that it's going to take. I don't find that really helpful to me, so I don't do it. But the system will reload itself, and then you just keep continuously moving it through. If you end up not needing to do something, you take the card out and throw it away. I like this system better than going electronic and trying to do it with any of the apps on my laptop. I'm just more of a tactile person, I guess, and I find that I like this better, even though it's really old school. That being able to handle the cards makes me happy inside. So that is the She Card system. Like I said, was not my idea. This is a system that is already in place, and lots of books and tutorials and resources for how it's set up. I modified mine slightly so that it works for me a little bit better, but the idea is basically the She Card system. So thank you for watching, and I hope that you think this is helpful.